Okay, so check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we do hear you.
Yes. Okay, great. So I want to. I think I can sit. Yeah, I can sit there, and you can. Yeah, you can. So I will be the moderator of this kind of session. So I want to start this with some questions to the authors, and then I will let other people also let them ask questions. So the first question I want to ask the first author, Nastya. Nastya, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Okay, so Nastya is the author of the film about time traveling, the first film. And I want to, I wanted quite ago to ask you how this idea about time traveling came to your mind, and what it was, how was your processes of this kind of idea that you recreate in the film?
So I shot this film a long time ago, a month, I think, but я закончила, как будто.
Если нужна помощь с переводом, ты говори, тут помощь в огромном размере.
Хорошо, окей, sure. Процесс был очень долгий, но я справилась, да.
The process was very long, but she made it successfully.
Слушай, and why it's about time travel? Do you for example, it's you got inspired from book or from a film, or why you choose this kind of topic?
From my head, and books, maybe some books, but not in books history. Also in books like they looks like.
Okay, thank you, Nastya. Thank you. And so and let me ask another one, and then I will have a chance to get audience to talk with you. And I would also, because audience unfortunately cannot do not know you, so they will, I think, all ask the author of some films, and you will pick the question. So Sasha, you did a film about the Zaporozhye nuclear plant, and are you here?
Hello, yes.
Hi, Sasha. So it is the second film about stranger things at the Zaporozhye nuclear plant. So I want to ask you, did you show your film to your parents? Because you have this kind of scene when you are talking with your mother, and it just came to my mind. Did you ask, or did you have this kind of filmic process alone with your friends, or you get your parents also involved?
Перевести? Вопрос был в том, ты когда снимала, участвовали ли родители в съемке, либо... Ты же сама можешь себя прекрасно, ну, Вера.
Ребят, если что, я в чате перевожу вопросы текстом.
Хорошо. Ну, родителям я показывала свой фильм, они это видели.
So you show it to her parents.
как они, может быть, отреагировали как-то, и пытался ли ты включить их, например, маму, что мама играла маму?
Не, я не смогла их включить, потому что они были заняты на работе, в принципе. Я сама это делала, когда их не было, чтобы мне не мешали процессу съемок.
So the question was, did the parents was involved? She answered no, because she wanted to make it like more lonely with more freedom.
And she made it when like parents wasn't at home.
They was at work.
Because parents are
Okay.
distracted.
And probably, if you had something to ask, you can.
Вера.
Ты спросила.
Okay, guys, but like with also the translation. Yeah?
Yeah, like then first like maybe English and then Russian. Like okay, to Sasha especially. I will just like firstly just give her some feedback. I might translate it later, okay? Мне очень понравилась эта атмосфера мистичности при помощи тряски изображения, так что за это большой лайк. Вопрос, откуда взялась идея персонажа? So the question, where did she get the idea of characters?
Мне пришла идея как бы по сериалу, я посмотрела Stranger Things, сам сериал, и получилось так, то, что мне пришла эта идея, как бы, чтобы школьники спасли именно Запорожскую АЭС. Ну и такие вот проблемы и новости.
So she said that after looking Stranger Things, she got idea of the teenagers to save the world, kind of the same as in film.
But changed location.
Yep.
Thank you. Guys?
I want to ask a question because I also want to be translated. Can somebody translate every
Sure.
time I say something and then you translate? Then it feels like, well, like first of all, I want to compliment that I really enjoyed like watching all of these, and that like it was really nice because like they were all very different from each other, or like there were so many different kinds, but they were like all really enjoyable in their own way.
Basically, there's translation into Russian and
Okay.
so they kind of understood.
Like I have I guess like with the war and everything, like this is kind of like a general question to maybe everybody. I don't know how it's possible to answer this, but was it difficult to come up with something? Like, was it difficult to come up with an idea on what to make? Like, I guess like there were obviously many of those were inspired. Well, that's maybe not the right word, but where like the idea was related to the war. So maybe the better question is like, well, let's say like, was it difficult to come up with an idea? I guess that's, but was it immediately obvious on what to make? I don't know how it is possible to answer for everybody, but I guess I'm interested in the process.
Короче, главный вопрос. У нас есть руки, давайте. Гель.
Okay. Gil or Gela? Gil or Gela?
Sorry, Gel is the author of the last film about about Lukashenko.
Okay. So it's very pleasant for me to hear about your comments about our films. It's very pleasant for me. And I wanted to say that also this film was really inspired by the war, because I showed emotions of my friends, emotions of this girl who filmed in my film. And I guess it was like a message. What are we feel? What do we feel now? So I guess. Stay positive. Stay positive, please. Everything's going to be okay.
Thank you, Gele. And we have another arm, no? Maybe, ребят, может быть, кто-нибудь добавит по поводу того, как Вам сложно было прийти к идее, о чем снимать фильм или нет? Ну, как бы сложно и почему, или не сложно, тоже почему? Сразу пришла идея или нет? Everybody.
Оль, скажи. Ну, хочешь, скажи по-русски, и тебе там переведут.
Юля руку подняла. Ага, Юль, да?
Да, я начну с того, что все как бы сейчас основано на войне, и мне кажется, многие хотели снимать про войну, ну, многие так и сняли. И лично мой фильм, скажу за себя, что мне хотелось придумать что-то такое, что не напрямую будет связано с войной, будет какая-то лишь частичка того. Но опирались мы все равно на войну, потому что это окружает нас, это для нас больная тема, и это то, что сейчас происходит в нашей стране, это для нас очень тяжело.
Yes, as is like everyone else around it in the war, it's kind of difficult to don't go into the topic, and basically a lot of them basically choose it. But for her film, it was with that interview with the cat. Yes, she kind of didn't want it that straightly to go into the topic of the war, so she kind of chooses the topic kind of relevant to that, but still a bit further. Я что-то забыла? Либо нет.
Thank you, Julia.
I have one actually, if somebody else wants to answer, but I have a follow-up question, of course.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like many of like in general, many of those films did comment on like explicitly on the war, but and some of them were also like you could interpret them in different ways. But was there somebody who wanted to make a short film that was deliberately like not related to the war somehow?
Basically, there were some films.
Yeah.
I think the worst.
Коротше,
Yeah,
питання було в тому, чи був хтось, хто робив відео не стосовно війни, але, ну, в принципі, воно там було, так що...
No.
Yeah, like
But the
Mhm.
first film.
the first
for
Time
example,
Traveler,
Oh, yes, yes,
then...
yes. But
Then about this nightmare, or like...
My film as well.
And the
Yeah.
film of Sonia.
Yes.
Sonia is a film of
Find Me? Yeah.
Find Me, yeah, of the
Mhm.
girl who.
Mhm.
And it is not connected to the war, but it also shows feelings like depression. I don't know.
This is exactly like, not obviously there were many of those that did not somehow mention it straight away or like directly, but for example, like some of them, like for example about Nightmare, you could think about that, you know, the war is a nightmare, even though it doesn't mention it, that okay, this what the nightmare is about or what the trauma is, for example. It doesn't mention the war, but you could still, one way of thinking about it would be that it would be about the war, for example. But that's why I wanted to ask if there were some who wanted to make it totally unrelated, not even like this.
I think it's interesting question, but I think that we actually have these films, like for example the first one.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
I
Yes.
think there was no real kind of.
Like, yeah, the art is like... It
Mm.
always, you can interpret it as
Mhm.
Yeah,
but-
you can interpret
yeah,
every
but-
film.
And like, yeah, in
Yes.
that case, as we watched a lot of films that was like about the war, you
Yes,
might start
yes.
to think that all of them about
Exactly,
war,
yes,
but
yes.
as I understood, there wasn't.
Yeah,
The main idea.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to find out, you know.
Можно добавить? Там
Там
еще вопросы есть? The someone have questions?
Yes. I have a question for Julia.
Julia?
Because but first I want to congratulate all of you. All of the films had something that surprised me, and all of the films had made me feel something. And thank you very much. I have a question for Julia about.
Maybe should I translate, or
I
there
think-
was...
yeah.
It's better.
So, yeah, like... Російською,
Да,
українською.
зараз.
Valia, but Valia already did.
Okay, then you can
I
keep...
speak.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question is, how do she find this person she interviewed?
Uh-huh.
How was the process of interviewing him, and when did she make the choice to only show the cat?
I think, but what, do we? No. What?
They have translation.
Yeah.
Yep.
You?
Этот человек, это мой молодой человек. Процесс задавания вопросов, ну, мы, получается, сидели вместе, это был как разговор ненавязчивый, знаете, такое не интервью делового характера, а вот как чисто разговор двух людей.
Юль, можешь сделать паузу, чтобы я успевала переводить, хорошо? This guy, it was her boyfriend, and this was just like the common speech in the like regular day, yeah, like the conversation that like she just started to record. Продолжай.
И решила показывать только кота, потому что были вопросы о мобилизации, и в нашей стране, так же, как и в России, это уголовно наказуемо, что если ты не идешь защищать свою страну, то тебя автоматически сядет в тюрьму на 3-5 лет или даже больше, на пожизненно.
So basically, she decided to don't show the face and show the cat because there was some conversation about the guy didn't want to go to the army, what's basically against the law, and he could have like get arrested by such actions. So it was easier to show the cat.
И так как мой молодой человек еще молодой, ему всего 23, поэтому я считаю, и он считает, и родители его считают, то, что на войну идти, ну, это как на смерть. Пошел туда мой папа, и я знаю, о чем я говорю. Он живой, слава богу, но все равно это ад.
So this guy is still very young, and his parents understand that he's young, and like Yulia, for example, she knows what the war is because her father was there, he's alive and everything is okay, but they understand that going to the war is the same as like going to the death.
To the hell.
To the hell, yeah, sorry.
Спасибо большое, Юля, за ответы. Надеюсь, что с твоим папой все нормально.
Не слышно.
Я сказала, что спасибо большое, Юле, за ответы. Я очень надеюсь, что с твоим папой все нормально. And I said that I thank you, Yulia, for answer, and I really hope that with her father everything is okay. I just want to, because we step in this kind of topic, and I want to ask Oля. Can you hear me, Oля? Okay. So I want to ask Oля, how do you like? When did you first meet the people who are in a film from Mariupol, and how did you know basically them? Оль, я хотела бы тебя спросить про значит персонажей реальных людей, которых ты снимала из Мариуполя, как вы познакомились и, соответственно, ну, как это произошло?
Так, ну, вообще это очень, скажем так, больная тема, потому что эти люди, они, я их раньше не видела до войны, и они переехали к нам в Запорожье, когда эта вся ситуация началась. Вот, это мужчина, которого я снимала, он занимается прыжками в воду, как и моя мама, и они были знакомы, ну, по спорту. А потом, в связи с этой всей ситуацией, так как они лишились дома, они лишились всего, и из-за того, что его родители попали под завалы, и им пришлось переехать в Запорожье, чтобы вылечить родителей, вот, они жили некоторое время у нас, и поэтому так получилось, что мы познакомились лично.
One of them was the jump her into the water, if I'm explaining correctly.
So she said, like, yeah, this topic a little bit difficult for her to speak because these people like left the Mariupol and she didn't know about them, like she didn't meet them before, and only when it happens they went to Zaporizhia, like actually because it's the nearest city where people were evacuated. So yeah, and
So basically this people they was like evacuated and started just to live with her family. That's how they met.
Спасибо большое. Я бы, наверное, хотела спросить Сашу. Саша, Александра, которая сняла фильм
Stranger Things?
Александра.
День рождения.
Я? Что?
День рождения любимого?
Нет, когда сняла фильм «День рождения». Саш, ты здесь, да?
Да, я здесь.
Ага. Я хотела, I want to ask you about the story, because as I remember, Alexandra told us that you also write stories, and not only like you are not only do visual kind of art, but also you are writer. And I want to ask, how do you have another stories, or how do you feel when you was filming this story from your script? Maybe I understood something wrong, and this story was from the beginning was made as a script, not as a story. But I didn't know, but I thought that it was firstly the story and then the script and idea about film. Я хотела тебя спросить.
Там вроде был параллельный перевод.
Скажи.
В чате, нет?
В чате. В чате есть перевод.
Я эту историю написала, как только началась война, и после этого решила ее экранизировать, когда вот присоединилась к этому проекту.
So she made this story when the war had started, and just when she became a part of this project, she wanted to produce to make the production of it.
And do you have another stories, or you have only this one that you wanted to film?
У меня есть еще истории, но я их пока не экранизировала, и в ближайшем хочу это сделать.
So she have few more stories, but she still haven't recorded them visually, but she planning to do that.
Because I'm a big fan of your film, so I'm looking forward to see the other stories also. So I really hope that I will see it.
Can you just let us know what movie? Can you let us know what movie you're talking about?
The movie about
the third one,
girl who has a boyfriend's birthday.
Okay.
And flower.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course, but just let me 1 minute. Мне бы очень хотелось увидеть еще истории, твои истории, потому что мне очень понравилось, как ты сделал этот фильм. И мне кажется, у тебя большой талант.
Спасибо.
Okay. First of all, well done, all of you. Really great films. Each one of them very unique, very interesting. My question is a bit open to anyone who wants to answer, really. All of you made all these great films, and what was your favorite part of the process of filmmaking? Like, what did you guys enjoy most? Because some of you also acted in your films, so I'm assuming you wrote them as well. So what did you enjoy most?
Guys, That's their adversation.
That's
No, because they're reading now right now. Yeah.
so like what was the что было самой любимой частью продакшена? Ну, питання відкрите до всіх.
Gail?
It seems like my film was very easy to shoot, but I guess my favorite part was with this girl, because when we were shooting this film, she couldn't stop to joke, and she smiles all the time. I said it's not funny, it's serious film, but she smiled all the time, and now
in our country.
yeah, and she smiles all the time, and I couldn't do anything with she.
Just a joke.
She said that all her life is just a joke.
Хороше отношение к жизни.
Ага.
До речі, дуже класна говірка. So basically, what we said is that the nice jokes, and Jane said the compliment to the. How is? Okay, long story in short, in Ukraine there are really different way to speak Ukrainian, like a mix to say. So like it sounds different depending on the region, and I really liked how like she speaks, because it wasn't like clear Ukrainian, literature Ukrainian, and I really like these different ways. Yeah.
Yes, I also like the full process of shooting, because I made it with my friends and we were just chilling, eating chips, and it was funny. We had a great time, but were some difficulties, because that day I was in my city and there were lots of alarms like whew, whew, and it was difficult to just record without that sound. So we needed to wait a lot just the alarm to end.
Thank you. Sash?
Мне больше понравилось снимать и играть, чем монтировать. Монтировать очень долго и...
Okay, so she much more enjoyed playing, recording than editing.
No, because I asked her to re-edit. I don't know how much time. Thank you, Sasha. Gil?
I think for me, each part was really hard, but in a different way. And if I have to choose one part, I would choose filming and recording the videos, because it's the most openly creative part, and I still can choose how to film it, what lighting do I choose, how close do I come to the person I film. And then when I start editing, like, I don't know, in big movies, the editor always blames the cameraman for spoiling everything and not having enough footage to edit. And now I have to blame myself because I was the person who spoiled everything.
Thank you. Thank you. Юль?
Я соглашусь с тем, что монтировать очень сложно, а снимать мне понравилось тоже больше всего. Потому что когда ты монтируешь, ты слушаешь это по 350 раз, ты такой сидишь, думаешь, господи, лучше я уже сама выйду, все расскажу. Только, пожалуйста, давайте не монтировать.
So she agreed with the previous answers that like production part is much more interesting than editing, because when you're watching it 300 of times, you want like just basically not read that again, but just like go and say that like one way, not spend that much time on rewatching all that info.
Thank you, Yulia. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Okay. First, I want to say something to Sasha. Is that you are a great editor, even if you don't enjoy it.
Sasha, you have two Sasha.
Sasha, nuclear plant.
Коротше, швидко паралельний переклад. Навіть якщо тобі не подобається... ладно. Переклад під списочок.
And I have a question for Sonia.
Sonia.
I think you had an actress, right? It's not herself.
Yeah, it's not herself.
Yeah. So I want to know how was the process of directing such like an emotional role with so little dialogue. How was directing the actress? I want to know.
It was quite hard because the actress has never had an experience in acting and have never learned how to show emotions on the camera. But she tried a lot. I was like, you can do it! Wow. I have bought a pack of chips for her, and because of that, she said, "Okay, I will act." Because of chips, I will act.
In that case, you're a nice producer, you're a nice assistant, you've done job of all of that.
And, did you have to do a lot of takes, or it usually came in the first take, or how was that?
Yes, there were so many dupli
Takes.
states because of the sound and that I have mentioned before, the alarm sound of wee around the city. And we were just starting shooting one piece of the film, and the alarm started, and we needed to reshoot it.
Can I ask like a little bit of related questions? Like for those who were filming not themselves but actors, was it hard or okay? Did you enjoy the process of telling your story? How did you feel it like? Because like you had an idea in your like mind, but you had to tell it to your actor to make it. How did you feel it? Like maybe for Sonia, for anyone who want to answer.
I have made a script and wrote everywhere which emotions she needs to show, to say, with what state of face, like that.
Окей, да, питання було в тому, чи ну от вам треба було тим, хто мав акторів, а не сам знімався. Чи вам було складно, як ви взагалі от для вас був цей процес розповісти свою історію, її донести до іншої людини, щоб вона взагалі це показала?
Was it the same question?
Yes.
Yeah, just
Can I say yeah? At first, my first idea was differently. My first idea was differently, and I had some actors which I had to say what I want to do, and one of them was not very pleasant for me person, and now we're not speaking to each other, and it was very sad for me, but she was happy. She don't like him. And yes, and it was very hard for me to explain him because he didn't like my ideas, and I'm just okay, bye. Please have a nice day.
Nice.
Okay, thank you. Sasha?
Актером была моя сестра, и так как мы знакомы много лет, мы отлично понимаем друг друга, и было нам легко снимать все это.
So her actress was her sister, as they know each other for a long time. It wasn't that difficult to explain how to do that.
Thank you.
Gil? So I made the film about nightmares, and I think the basic emotions, like here you have to be sad, here you have to smile, like it was pretty easy to make and to tell my actress what to do. She's also a non-professional actress, she's not an actress, so she's just a friend. But the last scene where she had to cry was really hard to make because she couldn't cry naturally. And in the end, we had to chop onions and like take them to her eyes so she could cry.
Classic. And I wanted to add, Gil, I liked your film the most, like all this, like what? Vera, don't look at me like that. I just like I really like this like style of black white that like some objects wasn't maybe visible, but at the same time that created more unique atmosphere. For me, it looked really professional.
Yep. By the way, I wanted to ask. First of all, I'm also a big fan of this film, and I'm a fan of animation. So I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with the idea of all those overexposed images, and what does it represent to you? Is it some sort of emotion, or yeah, basically tell us about it a bit.
First of all, thank you so much. It's really nice to hear all these words. And for the like nightmare parts and these overexposed shots, actually, it was my first idea of this film was visual, and I thought about nightmares. And at first, it was actually a idea about like first man in the world and how you see and how you see the world when you don't know what things are, and maybe like really non-human vision where you don't see objects like usual people see. And then it just caught on this idea of I don't know, seeing objects differently, and because you see them for the first time, you're scared of them. And then I thought like maybe it can represent like how you see the world in nightmare, or how you see the world when you're like affected by something scary in your past and you can't see things clearly, and some simple object or some simple human figure can remind you of some terrible things in the past. And I just wanted to make it as abstract as nightmares are. And so I just imagined how I would see the world if like I knew nothing about it, like just some people, random figures, everything is just so obscure. And I just was led by this idea and tried to make it as abstract and as non-human as possible.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. By the way, thank you everyone for films. They're of course also very great. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, if we would have 1 more hour, I can like say compliments for every of your film. I really made the notes. I can send them to Vera so that she can like show them to you in the later on. Like, so don't take that much time.
Yeah, like I think let me. Okay, we have basically 6. Okay, I think last question it will be, and then we can wrap up. Maybe some of them who haven't had a chance to ask, if you have something to tell. I say you translated host. It's okay. Okay, so I want really to congratulate you, because like it was our international premiere. And thank you for your you being here for Zoom, and thank you audience to come here today to watch this beautiful film. So yeah, you can't hear, yeah. Sorry. So I just told that thank you for being here for Zoom. Thank audience to coming here physically. So and I really hope that you will go further, that you will you will do not only this film but also another films, books, stories, and you will become I don't know, great people. And I really hope we will meet again also, because it's a wrap of our course. And it was my pleasure to be here with you, and like I learned from you a lot. And I will steal from you something. You're not against. So I want to probably to also give a word to Valia and Jana and Sasha, who are teaching this. There's like basically people from one course, and Sasha is from another course. So if you want to continue and to talk and to finish this kind of speech, please, Val.
Thank you so much, guys. Firstly, thank you so much for gathering around. And for me, it's important that you came and you ask all these questions, because I think it's important when you start to work on films, it's important to see that other people watching them and they're wondering about what is it, how it's done. So you're more responsible in your next works and you value yourself more. So thank you for all audience who came today to see these films and to discuss them. For me, it was very pleasant conversation. It was great course, and I hope to see everyone again. And if you will have any questions about any teaching process or something, I'm happy to answer. But I think we need to be quite short because it's already a bit long.
I think that let's also. Oh, this last line. Sorry. I cannot do it now.
We love you.
You can also do it like this.
Oh, and thank you so much, Vera, for organizing. This is amazing. Thank you so much for all of this work.
Okay, great.
Thank you for everyone's support. Really, thank you.
Okay. So we're wrapping up.
The end. Класс. Ребят, спасибо большое. Было круто. Останавливаю запись.